Revealed. My sister tried to triple my rent, $6,800 instead. I exposed my hidden ownership. Dave stood behind the counter of his cafe, focused intently on the espresso machine steaming in front of him. The rich aroma of coffee filled the air, wrapping him in a sense of purpose, as he deftly crafted each cup with love. In a city like Chicago, where aspiring dreams often sank beneath the weight of dwindling wallets, this was everything to him. The cafe was not just a job. It was a slice of stability amid the relentless grind. But beneath the surface lay a churning unease, a hunger for connection that went deeper than the steaming mugs he served. Then, it came. An unexpected phone call shattered his ordinary routine. It was Lisa, his estranged sister, the glamorous real estate agent who had climbed her way to the top, was coming to visit. "I need to talk to you," she said, her tone clipped and businesslike. "I expect you to pay $6,800 in rent for Mom's house." His heart dropped. How could she demand such an outrageous sum for the very foundation of their childhood? It felt like a betrayal, a calculated move in her pursuit of prosperity. Memories of laughter mixed with bitter arguments during their family's divorce crashed over him like a tidal wave. Lisa's ambition had propelled her into a world of luxury, while Dave had chosen a humble path, pouring his heart into coffee and community. Standing tall as the heart of his cafe, he believed the American dream still thrived for those who hustled for it. But now the weight of her demands crushed that dream. Before he could collect his thoughts, the neighborhood community center, once a hub of laughter, camaraderie, and values, was threatened with closure. Budget cuts loomed large, and Dave felt the anguish rise within him. This center was the heart of their community, the same place where he and Lisa had found solace during their parents' chaotic split. A place that reminded him of love and unity. How could they stand by as it crumbled? The air thickened as old tensions bubbled to the surface. He couldn't dismiss their shared past. It tugged at him, aching to be addressed. Just then he stumbled upon a shocking family secret, a hidden stake in the family property. Sage buried deep in the past, unknown to him but now revealed, sparked a confrontation that ignited emotions they both had been trying to tame. "Do you think you can just cash in on our home?" Dave shouted, emotions spilling over. The cafe, a refuge for so many, felt small, stifling their hurt and anger. "It's not just a property, Lisa. It's our history. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." The storm of voices crackled as their childhood memories flickered in the background. Old wounds gushed, and tangled grievances poured out like heavy rains. Each word was a piece of the puzzle to navigate how family loyalty battled against the crave for independence. As they both faced that crossroads, a fragile hope sparked amid the chaos. Could they find a way to heal? The question loomed larger than either of their ambitions. And as Dave's tight chest eased just a little, he wondered, could this moment define their future together? Or would it drive them further into the dark abyss of resentment? The actor's tension hung heavy, unresolved, leaving everything suspended as they stood at the edge of possibility. What would come next? The door to the cafe swung open, a gust of wind pushing it wide, as customers filed in, oblivious to the storm brewing behind the counter. Dave caught Lisa's eye, and he could see the determination etched on her face. She couldn't back down now, not after everything she'd sacrificed. But neither could he let his childhood slip away like loose change. "Why, Lisa? Why now?" he asked, his voice lower but still tinged with disbelief. "You act like this place has no meaning to you. It shaped us." "Shaped us?" she snapped, crossing her arms, her designer blazer stretching with the motion, highlighting the imbalance in their lives. "You're the one stuck in the past. I fought tooth and nail to be who I am today. You can't blame me for wanting what I've earned." Dave's heart raced. He remembered the little moments during their childhood, the long summer days at the community center, the quiet evenings watching cartoons on the living room floor. "It's not about blame. You've changed, Lisa. It feels like I don't even know you anymore." Her eyes narrowed. "Maybe you never did. The words hung in the air, heavy and jagged. What did that even mean? Dave felt a mix of hurt and anger. You think money makes you better than me? We both know what we went through. The barista's hands trembled slightly as he wiped down the counter, the potential for reconciliation slipping further away with every second. I poured my heart into this cafe, into the community. That's real. Isn't family supposed to matter more than all the zeros in a bank account? Silence enveloped them, punctuated only by the hissing of the espresso machine in the background. The cafe felt small, the weight of their shared history pressing down on them like the cloud above a brewing storm. I never wanted to hurt you, Lisa said finally, her voice a whisper, now veering away from the edge of anger. I thought this was the best way. There was a flicker of vulnerability in her eyes. Could it be? Had she not seen how deeply this impacted him? Remember the promise we made to each other when Dad left? No matter what happened, we'd look out for one another? Dave's voice softened, the challenge in his tone melting into desperation. This isn't looking out for each other. Feels like you've forgotten who we are. Lisa looked away, her cool demeanor fracturing. I thought taking control of the house was smart. I didn't think it would come to this. She paused, a sigh escaping her lips, heavy with regret. I thought you'd understand I'm trying to build something. For us both. Dave's heart quickened. There it was, the tiniest glimmer of hope. Could they really rebuild their fractured sibling bond? If we focus on the cafe and the community center, he started cautiously, we could make something real. Something that honors our past. Lisa's brow furrowed, uncertainty swimming in her eyes. But that doesn't pay the bills. You'll always struggle. Maybe that's the point? His voice shook. Every word felt like stepping into a void. Struggle builds character. They stood there, two sides of a conflict wholly tied to their shared history, both realizing they were at a crossroads, and the world outside continued to bustle by, unaware that the true battle was at hand. What would it take for them to find common ground? Could old wounds beg forgiveness, or would greed and resentment prove too great an obstacle? As the coffee line grew longer, Dave couldn't help but wonder if their impasse was just the beginning of a deeper reckoning. Would they break apart? Or would they piece together the remnants of what they had lost? A decision loomed, and the weight of it felt devastatingly real. But the moment wasn't over, and the damage was just starting to surface. What shocking family truths lay ahead, waiting to be unleashed? Dave glanced at the barista, who was now visibly uncomfortable, darting glances between the siblings as if he were watching a soap opera unfolding in real time. The cafe felt like it was closing in on him. Every breath felt heavy. He looked at Lisa, her expression a confusing mixture of determination and doubt. Lisa, I'm not saying I don't see what you're trying to do, he continued, his voice tinged with urgency. I get that you want security, but this isn't just about money. The cafe is our childhood. It's our family legacy. Is it? She shot back, her voice climbing a notch. How can you say that after how it all fell apart? After Dad left? This place has been an anchor, sure. But it's also a reminder of what we lost. I want to move forward, not drag the past with me. He saw the tears welling in her eyes, the crack in her tough exterior, but the anger mixed with desperation made it hard for him to reach her. I don't want to let our memories drown in the weight of your ambition, he replied, his gaze steady. A couple seated at the back of the cafe was starting to notice the escalating tension. Whispers buzzed through the air like static. Dave could feel their scrutiny pressing down on him, but he couldn't care less about anyone but Lisa right now. I didn't mean for it to come to this, Lisa said slowly, her voice softer now, almost breaking. I thought if I bought the house it would allow me to do something big for the both of us. But I never calculated the impact it would have on who we are. He interjected, his heart racing. You're right. You've had nothing but success, but you're determined to leave behind everything that made you who you are. Look at us. We're breaking apart right here. The barista cleared his throat, toothpicks quivering in his hand as he leaned forward to pour Dave's drink. Guys, I just want to say, sometimes family don't. Lisa spat, her gaze shifting to the barista. You don't know anything about our family. Maybe not, Dave said, exasperated. But this cafe, the community they've faded because we allowed our differences to spiral out of control. Don't let that happen to us. As the line of customers grew increasingly restless, the noise level began to rise. Laughter from a cheerful group at a table nearby felt jarring against their charged silence. The dichotomy of joy and tension lay thick in the air. Maybe it's time for us to think differently, Lisa murmured, handing her gaze over to the espresso machine as if searching for a lifeline. What if I take my share and you take yours? We can divide the business, start fresh, separate? No. It shot out of Dave with more force than he intended. That's giving in. It's letting that greed win. We should be uniting, not splitting. This place means something, Lisa. Instead of wrenching the conversation back into the light, tension twisted tighter between them. Lisa took a step back, processing what had just been said. I thought I could help us, she said, an edge creeping back into her voice. You just don't understand. Help us. Or help yourself. Her eyes flared. You don't think I care? I've poured my heart into everything. Have you? He asked, working to keep his voice steady. Or have you put your heart into making a name for yourself? The distance between them stretched out like a chasm, a painful reminder of the gulf that opened. Dave could feel his own heart pounding, raw and exposed, as he awaited Lisa's reply. But instead of reconciling, she shook her head. You'll see. When everything comes crashing down, I hope you'll remember this moment. What did she mean by that? A chill drove through him, lurking in the back of his mind. As she turned away, anger and doubt twisted around him like a storm. Would they find a way back to each other? Or was this really the beginning of an end neither had anticipated? The cafe bustled around them, people mingling and sipping coffee as if nothing was at stake. But for Dave and Lisa, everything was on a knife edge. Would their bond withstand the trial ahead, or were they about to uncover deeper fissures that would change everything? Dave watched as Lisa turned on her heel, her back now facing him like a stone wall. The fatigue from their argument pressed down on him like a weight. His mind raced with thoughts, but his heart thumped louder in protest. He should say something, anything, to pull her back from this edge, but the right words escaped him. Lisa! He called, desperation creeping into his voice. Don't walk away. We can talk this out. She paused, her shoulders tense, the air thick with unspoken tension. He could feel the gazes of the cafe patrons on them, but all he wanted was to draw her back into the light. He stared at the back of her head, his fingertips tingling with the need to reach out, to fix this. I'm not walking away, she finally said, her voice low, missing some of its earlier fire. I can't stay here and keep pretending that this place is everything we need. It's not. Dave squeezed his eyes shut for a moment. Can be if we work together. If we let it. At that, she turned slightly, facing him just enough for him to catch the shimmer of unshed tears. And lose ourselves in the process? I refuse to be stuck in the past, Dave. A pang of frustration coursed through him. You think leaving will fix everything? That you can build new dreams on broken foundations? The cafe might feel like a cage to you now, but it's also our bridge. We need to remember who we were. And what we can still be. Who we were. Lisa's voice rose again, emotional, shaking with a blend of anger and pain. Who are we even? We lost all of that when Dad walked out. And the cafe? All it does is remind me of everything I want to escape. This is just a brick-and-mortar lie now. Her words cut deeper than he wanted to admit. It wasn't just about the cafe for her. It was about their family, their past. She was struggling to reconcile her ambitions with the chaos they had endured. Lisa, he said softer now, it's not just a building. It's our story. It's the laughter we shared, the way we fought through the hard times, and where we found joy in the small moments. We can find that again. Can we? She asked, her voice cracking under the weight of emotion. The barista stood by, hesitant, still eavesdropping on a conversation that felt too personal for a public space. Yet Dave sensed the looming question in Lisa's eyes, a crack in her resolve. Maybe he was getting through. Do you want to build a future on your terms alone? Or do you want me beside you as we navigate it together? His voice was steadier now, a lifeline thrown out in the storm. Lisa took a deep breath, visibly torn, like a ship caught in a raging sea. I want to create something lasting. But I don't know if you can follow me. With those words, the room quieted, and for a moment time stood still. Dave could see that flicker of doubt in her eyes, but there was also a glimmer of hope. he assured her. For us, for the family we want to keep alive. But we have to meet halfway. You can't do this alone and neither can I. A smile cracked through her tension, fleeting yet powerful. You really think we can? I believe we have to. This is our chance to redefine everything. As her smile faded, a weight returned, overshadowing their hopeful moment with lingering uncertainty. The cafe felt like the ground beneath them was still trembling, but he could sense that she might finally be willing to consider. But then, just as quickly, a subtle shift in her expression darkened her face again. What if I told you I found out something else, something big about Dad? The blood drained from Dave's face and his eyes widened. What could she possibly mean? In that moment, the tension ruptured, shifting yet again into something more ominous. The cafe morphed around them, now a stage for untold secrets and hidden truths. What could Lisa reveal that would change everything? Dave's heart raced as he finally found the courage to step closer to Lisa. She looked so small, so fragile, standing there with her back to him. Her words hung in the air like a ghost, and his mind struggled to comprehend the weight they carried. What did she really know about their father? Lisa, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. What do you mean something big? She turned to face him, her eyes shimmering with a mixture of fear and determination. I found some old documents in Mum's things about Dad's life after he left us. Instinctively, Dave felt his stomach churn. He didn't want to relive that pain, the abandonment, the sense of everything slipping away. Why didn't you come to me with this sooner? I didn't know how, she replied, frustration mixing with regret. The past is a tricky thing. You're so caught up in what we had, but it's all tied to what he did. I thought if I ignored it long enough it would fade. Dave shook his head, needing to grasp the edge of her intentions. But you can't just ignore him. He was our family. The cafe reminds us of that. It reminds me of how lost we are. But there's something here, something about his new life that she hesitated, the words heavy like lead. Changes everything we thought we knew. He ran a hand through his hair, a mix of anger and confusion boiling in him. What could possibly justify the hurt he caused? How could it change anything for us now? Because, she said slowly, I think he tried to keep us apart on purpose. It's like he knew we'd be standing here wondering about him one day. And I found out he may have started a new family, and he's living a life that looks perfect. The implications of her words sent a jolt through Dave. This was not just about a cafe or their past. This was about betrayal, and something darker lurking beneath the surface. A new family? What proof do you have? I can't explain everything right now, but I have some letters. And a name, she replied, her voice gaining strength as she continued. Someone he was close with. I think if we dig deeper, we may uncover things about him we never imagined. Dave clenched his fists. The anger surged inside him. How could their father simply walk away and rebuild somewhere else, while they struggled to hold on to memories? You think there's some hidden truth that'll make all of this okay? It won't. We still feel the damage he left behind. We can't let him dictate our future. She took a step closer, her voice softening. I'm not saying it will. But what if knowing the truth helps us confront everything? We unearth the past instead of burying it. And maybe, just maybe, we gain the closure we've been longing for. The thought washed over Dave like a wave, the fear battling with a flicker of hope. What if knowing the truth set them free? But could they truly handle whatever lay ahead? The unknown felt like a dark cloud waiting to engulf them. Can you promise we'll face this together? He asked, glancing into her eyes as if seeking a bond that would withstand whatever storm was brewing. I promise, Lisa nodded. A flicker of determination illuminated her features. But we need to act fast. Who knows what ties he's buried just then? A loud crash echoed through the cafe, shattering their moment and pulling their attention to the front door. A figure stood in the doorway, drenched from the rain, and as the cafe fell silent, Dave's heart sank. Dad? What would this encounter bring as raw emotions collided? The room felt frozen, the air thick with disbelief. Dave's breath caught in his throat as he took in the sight of the figure standing there, wet clothes clinging to his frame, hair plastered against his forehead. It was their father. The man who had left years ago, leaving behind echoes of hurt and confusion. Dad? Dave's voice wavered. The single word carried the weight of too many memories, each one like a sharp stone in his chest. He felt nervous energy tingle through his fingers, readying for the storm of emotions that this confrontation promised. Lisa, too stunned to speak, stood beside him, eyes wide. It was a moment suspended in time, but then it shattered like glass as their father took a tentative step forward, almost as if approaching a wild animal. Dave, Lisa, he breathed, each name a painful reminder of a love faded yet never entirely forgotten. What are you doing here? Dave's words shot out, barbed with resentment. You left us. You don't just get to show up after all these years. I know. The old man's voice cracked under the weight of unspoken regrets. I came to talk. Please let me explain. Dave felt a surge of anger. Explain what? How you just walked out of our lives. His heart pounded like a war drum, each beat demanding answers. What could you possibly say to make this right? Everything has changed since then, their father said, his eyes darting around as if searching for a way to make the moment easier. I know I hurt you. I can't take that back. But I've missed you both every day. Missed us? Lisa finally spoke up, her voice fierce and rising as if seeking justice for her own wounds. How can you say that? You walked away and left us to pick up the pieces. We had to learn to survive without you. I know you had to be strong. But there's more to the story. I can explain everything, I swear. Start with why you left, Dave demanded, his fists tightening as he braced for the answers. What could be so important that it justified abandoning your kids? A flicker of pain crossed their father's face. It's not as simple as that. I didn't. He hesitated, drawing in a shaky breath. You need to understand the choices I made. They weren't just for me, they affected you too. Every word felt like salt in an open wound. Just tell us the truth, Lisa urged, stepping forward. If you really care, you'd give us that much. Okay, he whispered, finally stepping into the cafe, bringing with him the scent of rain, regret, and years of absence. But you have to promise to listen. As he began to recount his tale, the atmosphere shifted. The layers of resentment wrapped tightly around Dave began to unravel, exposing raw nerves and buried feelings. His father's story slowly unfolded, a complex tapestry of decisions driven by desperation and fear. But just as Dave's heart began to soften, just as he opened the door to empathy, his father's phone buzzed insistently from his pocket. I'm sorry, he said, fumbling to silence it. He glanced at the screen, his face paled, and an unspoken dread spread through the room. I have to take this. What? Now? Lisa's voice was laced with confusion and concern. No, it's not what you think, their father replied quickly, backing away slightly. I have to deal with something urgent. What? Dave started, but the man was already drawing away, his demeanor shifting, darkening. The connection that had started to form felt suddenly fragile, as if it could shatter with the wrong words. Please, the father said, his voice almost pleading. Just give me time. And he turned to leave, leaving behind an uncertainty that twisted in the pit of Dave's stomach. As the door swung shut behind him, the weight of unanswered questions crashed down on them like a thunderous wave. Staring at the door, Dave knew that they had stepped onto a path fraught with more complexity than he had anticipated. What would they learn if they sought the truth behind his sudden urgency? Should we follow him? Lisa asked, uncertainty coloring her voice. But deep within, Dave felt a shift, a whisper of determination. They couldn't let another chance slip away. They needed to know whatever it took. Yeah, we need to find out what's happening, he replied. The storm was far from over, and the answers that lay ahead may change everything. The rain splattered against the pavement outside, mirroring the chaos of emotions swirling inside Dave. He glanced at Lisa, whose eyes were filled with a mixture of confusion and concern. They both felt the urgency like a string pulled taut, ready to snap. Let us go, Dave said, the decision forging a sudden sense of purpose. They dashed out into the downpour, the cold droplets biting at their skin. Each step along the slick sidewalk felt heavy with dread. Their father had to be around here somewhere, but they didn't know what they were walking into. Was it a chance for reconciliation or another layer of hurt? Running down the street, they turned the corner and spotted him a few blocks away. He was standing under the glow of a street lamp, his phone pressed to his ear, brow furrowed in worry. The sight of him, now more human than hero, sparked a twinge of empathy in Dave. Dad! He called, his voice cutting through the rain. The man turned, a look of surprise washing over his features. He ended the call quickly, the urgency from earlier clearly etched on his face. What are you doing? Their father's voice carried an edge of panic, mixed with relief. He must have thought they'd stay behind, waiting for him to return. "We're not letting you walk away again," Lisa declared, stepping closer, water streaming from her hair. "You said you wanted to explain. So explain." Their father glanced around, hesitating, as if weighing his options. "Not here, it's complicated. There are things you don't understand. Try us," Dave shot back, his heart racing. The words felt ragged as they slipped from his lips. "You can't drop a bomb like that and expect us to just stand by." The man sighed, running a hand through his wet hair, the worry evident in his furrowed brow. "I didn't want to involve you in all this. It's dangerous." "Dangerous? How?" "We're already in this," Lisa replied, crossing her arms defiantly. He leaned closer, lowering his voice. "It's not just about us. There are people who want to hurt me because of my past choices." Dave's pulse quickened. "So you come back at a time like this and expect us to just accept it? To trust you again?" Anger and confusion mingled in his gut. "I didn't think it would come to this," their father replied, desperation creeping into his voice. "I thought I could keep you safe." "Safe from what?" Lisa pressed, her anger giving way to concern. He hesitated again, and in that pause, a glimmer of vulnerability surfaced, a crack in the armor he had worn for so long. "I had to leave because I was trying to protect you from my mistakes. But those mistakes are catching up with me." "What does that even mean?" Dave snapped, infuriated. "Give us something we can work with." "I'll tell you everything," their father said, urgency now palpable in his every word. "But we need to get somewhere safe first." They're not far behind. Before they could respond, the faint sound of tires skidded to a halt nearby, and the echo of footsteps splashed against the pavement. Their father's eyes widened. "We have to go now." Dave grabbed Lisa's arm, and they sprinted down the sidewalk, the sense of danger electrifying their movements. Heart pounding in his chest, Dave stole a glance over his shoulder. Shadows loomed in the dim light, figures emerging from the night, their intentions unclear but menacing. They darted into an alleyway, the scent of rain mingling with the gritty scent of the city. There, with walls enclosing them and shadows closing in, the moment hung heavy. "What is happening?" Lisa whispered, fear flooding her voice. "Is it really that bad?" "I promised to explain everything," their father said, his face a mask of urgency and fear. "But we have to hide first." As their breaths mingled in the damp air, questions swirled around them like the mist. What had their father gotten himself into? And how deep did this danger run? Dave stared into the gloom ahead, heart racing with both dread and determination. They had come looking for answers, and it seemed they were diving into a world far darker than they ever imagined. "Let us find a safer place to talk," Dave urged. What truth awaited them on the other side of this night? The rain persisted, drumming on the pavement like a countdown to disaster. Dave's heart raced as he pressed back against the damp alley wall, the fear, confusion, and sense of betrayal knocking around in his chest like a trapped bird. He wasn't just scared of their father's past catching up with him. He felt a chill creeping into his bones at the realization that he was standing on a precipice, teetering between the past he thought he knew and an unknown future threatening to swallow them whole. "Dad, where do we go?" His voice came out barely a whisper, strained with urgency. The shadows in the alley felt too close, too alive, and Lisa's grip on his arm tightened. "Stay low and quiet," their father instructed, scanning the alley for any sign of movement. "I swear we're in real danger. I never wanted this for you." "Then why did you come back?" Lisa shot back, her voice trembling yet fierce, the strength of a storm reflected in her eyes. "You just involved us in this mess." He met her gaze, anguish carved in the lines of his face. "Because I realized that no matter how far I ran, I couldn't protect you without being here. You have to trust me." Trust. That word hung heavy in the air. Dave's mind flickered back to their childhood family dinners, laughter shared, moments long forgotten now tainted by distance and secrets. How could he trust a man who had chosen to walk away when things got tough? "Tell us what you're hiding," Dave demanded, his voice rising above the splatter of the rain. "No more secrets. We deserve that." Their father hesitated, his eyes tormented as he searched their faces. Okay, I will. I'm mixed up with some people who are not what they seem." "Not what they seem? Is that all you've got?" Lisa interjected, her brows knitting together in disbelief. What does that even mean? He took a breath, the tension in his shoulders easing slightly. There are debts I owe to wrong people in very wrong ways. I thought I could pay them off in time, but they found out I'd come back. It's a mess and it's my fault. Your fault? Dave echoed, his hands clenched into fists. You thought leaving would solve it, that you could protect us by being gone? Their father stepped closer, his voice now barely a rasp. I thought being apart would keep you safe. But the truth is they might come looking for me. And if they think you're linked to me, linked? Dave scoffed, indignant. We're linked by blood, Dad. That's not something you can wish away. The alley dimmed as he finished speaking, and the rain softened to a trickle, making space for the silence that followed. Tension wrapped around them tight and suffocating. Lisa's look of hurt morphed into resolve. What do we do now? Do we run? Fight? Don't underestimate how dangerous they are. I can't bear to put you at risk. We need to focus on getting out of sight. His father looked nervously toward the alley exit, as if the darkness itself were a portent. The muffled laughter of voices emerged from the distance, slicing through the thick air. Dave's breath caught. Are they coming? We can't stay here. This way, their father urged, leading them deeper into the shadows. The walls seemed to close in around them as they slipped away from the voices. As they navigated the narrow passage, uncertainty galloped with every step. What kind of choices had shaped their father? And what kind of danger lurked around the next corner? Both from within his past and the world stalking them. Where are we going? Lisa asked, stubborn fear lacing her voice. To an old friend. Someone who might help us, he replied, determination etched into his brow. We need to regroup. I promise I'll explain everything. When it's safe. But with each turn the stakes felt impossibly high, the weight of their father's secrets pressing against them. As they exited the alley into a dimly lit street, Dave wondered what awaited them ahead. Could they really outrun their past? And when the truth finally came crashing down, would it break them or bring them back together? That question hung in the air, dense and heavy as they stepped into the night, knowing they had only just begun to uncover the reality of their father's choices, and the impact it would have on their lives. The echoes of footsteps grew stronger behind them, a chilling reminder that the storm was far from over. The street felt vast and empty, the chill of the rain-soaked night settling into Dave's bones. He could hear the soft patter of droplets trickling along the gutters, but his heart was thundering against his ribcage, drowning out all other sounds. The shadows cast by the streetlights flickered like restless spirits, making every corner feel more ominous. Dad, how do you know this friend? Dave asked, trying to keep his voice steady, wanting an anchor amidst the chaos. His father turned, urgency etched on his face. We were in the same place a long time ago. He can help us, but he is complicated. Just listen to what he says and keep your heads down. Lisa squeezed Dave's arm, her anxiety palpable. What if he is dangerous too? Everyone can be dangerous when the stakes are high, their father replied grimly. But I trust him more than anyone else I know in this mess. They walked in silence for a few moments, the tension thick as a fog. Each step brought them further from the safety of home, and with it, a creeping doubt about where they were headed. Did trust even exist anymore? Why didn't you just tell us everything from the start? Lisa finally broke the silence. These secrets are suffocating us. Dave felt a surge of frustration. How had they reached this point? Yeah, Dad. You think keeping us in the dark would protect us? Look where it's gotten us. Their father let out a heavy breath, his face shadowed by pain and regret. I thought if I handled it myself you would never have to know. I left to keep you safe. Safe from what? Lisa interrupted, her voice rising. Safe from your own mistakes? Please, their father begged, pausing as they stepped into a narrow passageway between buildings. You have to understand, I did what I thought was best. I didn't know it would lead to this. Dave felt a swell of emotions, anger battling with a strange awareness of his father's sorrow. Yet they moved forward, adrenaline spurring them deeper into the heart of the storm. As they turned a bend, the familiar sight of a bar emerged, dimly lit and inviting in an otherwise bleak night. This is it, their father said, purpose coming back into his voice. Jacob will be here. Lisa hesitated at the door, uncertainty mingling with dread. What if he turns us away? What if we just walked into a trap? Then we run, Dave responded, feeling the need to inject a bit of bravery. But he couldn't help but wonder if running would ever mean truly escaping. They stepped inside, the warmth washing over them, but it did little to ease the tension pulsing among them. The air was thick with the scent of stale beer and smoke, laughter ringing out in jagged pockets. The noise felt like an assault compared to their quiet alley. Their father scanned the room, eyes darting like a hawk searching for its prey. "There he is," he said, finally spotting Jacob seated at a back table, a figure almost lost to shadow. "What does he look like?" Lisa whispered, unease lacing her voice. "Old friend," their father muttered, taking a deep breath as if steeling himself. "But he has changed." As they approached, Jacob looked up, an unreadable expression on his face. It bore the weight of secrets and shared pasts that neither Dave nor Lisa could decipher. "You shouldn't have come back, Tom," he said, voice low and gravelly. The world closed in around them, palpable tension thrumming like a live wire. Dave's heart sank. Whatever help they sought might come at an unimaginable cost. Just when Dave thought they might glean clarity, Jacob's next words sent shivers down his spine. "You should have known they won't just let you walk away this time." What did he mean by that? The air seemed to thicken around them as panic began to bubble. Could they truly escape this whirlwind of danger? And more importantly, was their father's attempt to shield them merely setting them up for a fall? The breath left Dave's lungs. Realizing they were about to plunge even deeper into a world of secrets and danger they could have never prepared for. As they sat at a table with Jacob, the air between them simmered with tension and unspoken fears. The dim lights flickered above them, casting shadows that mirrored the unease flooding the room. Dave could feel the weight of uncertainty settling onto his shoulders like a heavy backpack. "Why are they coming for you?" Lisa asked, her voice steady despite the anxiety gnawing at her. Jacob met her gaze, eyes dark and serious. "It's complicated. Your father made debts that he couldn't pay, and the people he tried to outrun have long memories." He leaned back, setting the stage for a truth that felt heavier than the rain-soaked streets outside. "They won't let him slip away again." "Then why did you even suggest we come here?" Dave blurted out, frustration bubbling over. "If this place is so dangerous, what were we doing?" Tom held up a hand, a pleading look on his face. "No one else can help us. Jacob knows where the pressure points are. He has contacts." "Contacts?" Lisa echoed, her voice dripping with skepticism. "Or liabilities? People who drag us into your mess?" A flicker of pain crossed Tom's face, but he only nodded. "It won't be easy, but if we want to confront this, we can't run anymore." Dave registered the hurt in his father's eyes. Despite everything, despite all the betrayal, he still yearned for connection, for their family to be whole again. But could they become whole simply by addressing the past? "I don't want to be part of your past mistakes," Dave replied, each word punctuating the fear creeping into his heart. "We deserve better than an explanation used to save your skin." Silence settled, thick as fresh cement. Jacob shifted uncomfortably, scratching his beard as he glanced between the three of them. "I get it," he finally said. "You see a man who left you behind. I'm just warning you about what lies ahead. You're not safe until the debts are cleared." "Not safe?" Lisa hissed, her body tinged with echoes of past hurts. "How can we ever be safe when we're tied to you?" Tom's gaze swept over her, firm but caring. "I know I hurt you, and I can't undo the past. But what lies ahead, it might still be our chance for a future together." Dave sneered slightly, masking the ache pulling at his chest. "And how do we do that? Just pretend everything's perfect now? That you didn't just put our lives in danger at the drop of a hat?" Tom sighed, his shoulders sagging like a defeated boxer. "No, I know it won't fix everything. But we can't shy away from facing him, whoever him is." That thought hung in the air, tempting yet terrifying. Dave felt his heart slam against his ribs as he replayed the weight of their father's last words. Could they really tackle the monsters he had created? Who do we even confront? Lisa's words pierced the uncertainty. Who's behind this? Jacob leaned in, his voice a low growl. "It's not just one person. It's a network of outlaws who think they can run the city their way. They'll find him, and they won't hesitate to find you too." A chill ran down Dave's spine. The very thought of facing those dangers felt ludicrous. Should they stay and fight with a father who had dismantled their childhood? Or risk everything and run away? We can't just run, he said quietly but with conviction. Whatever twisted path this has taken us down, we stand together. I'm done blaming you, Lisa added, determination flooding her voice. We can rewrite the ending of our family, but we need to do it together. Together, Tom echoed, his eyes misting with a mixture of sorrow and hope. I want that. I'm here to protect you both now. You should have thought of that before, Jacob interjected, his authority evident. This isn't a fairy tale. Protecting them now won't erase the pain you caused. Maybe not, Tom admitted. But let us not give up fighting. We're here anyway. As they steeled themselves to confront the storm ahead, a new resolve began to fire inside Dave. This was the moment for transformation. They might not have all the answers, but they now had each other. With their story poised at a precipice, could this family find closure? Or would history unravel? Again? Messages exchanged among the crowd. The sounds of laughter and music in the distance felt remote because together, they were forging their path. The future was still uncertain, a wild maze beckoning, but for perhaps the first time, Dave felt they were all having a chance for something beautiful together, locked hands, hearts aligned. It's time to face this together, he said, meeting each of their gazes, and as their fears collided with newfound determination, they stood ready outside. The rain slowed, revealing a faint glow of the city, a metaphor for the new beginnings awaiting them. This family had weathered storms, but what lay ahead could redefine who they were, forging a new legacy built on honesty, love, and forgiveness. The cafe, the chaos, the family drama, all of it was leading them back to a foundational love that deserved to thrive. And in that moment they made a collective promise to move forward, to change the course, and to step together into the brave unknown. Now's the time to rise and show your support. You need to subscribe now to keep up with these exclusive stories. Leave a like now if you felt the impact of this conclusion. Your thumbs up fuels the journey. Comment below with your reactions and emotions as we close this chapter. And don't wait not even one more second. Share this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this transformation. Let us unite and embrace the future together.